everybody. Oh, got a little thing in my shirt. A bit of fluff. How are we? Hello, everybody. I've really dragged my feet today because I've been trolling X. What a day. What a day. So, depending on your perspective, it has been an historic 24 hours. And it's very interesting to see the spectrum of reactions on X. It's like people are living in different worlds. It's insane. So how is it that the same situation, the exact same situation, everybody in the United States, even in the world, is living through the exact same event? But people see it very, very differently. Some people are celebrating, like the mandate that Donald Trump got for that election was incredible. Clearly, the people spoke. And there are people who are in absolute states of trauma. And the way they are expressing it, I mean, all these people who are taking videos of themselves screaming on TikTok, it's like, wait, what? It's crazy. And depending on your perspective, you may be feeling really frightened and terrified for your country and your future and all the rest of it right now. So I want to give you maybe a new perspective and a reframing. As a coach, what I do all the time is a reframing, because everything is a story and everything is perception. And before you sit there and go, oh, but you don't understand, Trump this and Trump that and Trump something else, take a breath. Take a breath. Okay? Everything is a story. Everything is perception. If you're freaking out and somebody else is celebrating, then what do they see that you don't see? And before you jump up and down and go, oh, they're idiots and blah, 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 ho there. Personally, I'm actually on the right. Personally, I think that this is an incredible moment and turning point for humanity. Wait, what? How did you get to that position? Who are you? I'm not going to follow you anymore. You're an idiot. How can you support somebody like Trump? He's a fascist. He's a racist. He's a misogynist. Only misogynists support Donald Trump. We live in a misogynist country. That's why Donald Trump got voted in. That's what all the liberal media are doing. Like, what? No, I have been watching the politics in the United States with increasing intensity and scrutiny over the last 8 years. 8 years, it was like, wait, what? Donald Trump got in? How did that happen? I was watching from the sidelines. To be perfectly honest, if you're in the United States, I find your election cycle freaking exhausting, and I don't know how you do it. I used to just completely ignore it. I think there was a time where I didn't even know who your freaking president was unless they popped up on our media. 2016 got a little bit interesting. So I started to pay attention, and I have become increasingly interested, and I have scrutinized your election process because the leadership in America affects all of us, all around the world, in so many ways, because US is such a superpower. There are other superpowers, but the US is a major superpower. And look, in Australia, we just kind of like, we're little mini-me's for America a lot of the time. Does my head in. It's like, can we not just have our own culture, please, and not just follow in America's footsteps? Love ya, Americans, but like, we're Australian. We're not American. Why do we have to do whatever America does? Anyway, whole other rant. But I want to speak to, no matter what your perception and perspective, I want to speak to the future of America, of our world. And let me speak firstly to those who may be freaking out right now. What if, just suspend that for a moment. What if you've been lied to? What if the media has fed you a perception and a perspective that actually isn't grounded in reality? Now, the media is very, very good at manipulating and brainwashing the masses. Seriously. So, and they have mastered the art. Now, I have not watched mainstream media for a long time. Quite frankly, it makes me nauseous because I see immediately the lies. They have an agenda. You know, if you know anything about what's going on in the world right now, you know that Elon Musk is not the richest man in the world, don't you? They refer to him as the richest man in the world. He is not, by a long shot, the richest man in the world. Yeah, he's a billionaire entrepreneur. He's one of the richest self-made entrepreneurs on the planet. But when you understand the hierarchy and the ruling class, and, you know, and it's not even the royalty is like, they're kind of middle tier. You up to the Rothschilds, the Warburgs, the Rockefellers, the Morgans. Those are the nameless, faceless rulers of our world. And they have fingers in every pie. So they control our systems, our financial systems, our so-called health systems. I prefer to refer them to this as sickness systems. Our education systems, our governmental systems. Our governments are completely captured by these trillionaires. These are the trillionaires that I'm talking about. They have like 98 to 99% of the world's wealth. And they have captured humanity through the systems that are completely integrated. Whoa, she's a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, I'm actually a conspiracist, not a conspiracy theorist. So it's about understanding how this has been orchestrated and how this has been rolled out. So people like Donald Trump are an existential threat to that system of bureaucracy and the system that has been created as a machine designed to enslave and control us. Oh, now she's really lost her effing mind. Stick with me, okay? I have been learning about this for a long time. Red pill, blue pill. Ever seen a little thing called The Matrix, the whole series? Have you watched it and realized that it is actually a commentary on our existence, that we are living in a holographic simulation? This is all a simulation. I keep referring to this, and it's very relevant to this situation that we have found ourselves in. Now, the mass formation psychosis, the brainwashing, through the education system, we've been designed, which has been designed to enslave and control us, to disempower us. Because you know, this is in all my stuff that I do. You are an infinitely powerful being with infinite potential. You have the ability to create anything that you put your mind to. We are living in a holographic projection. This is a simulation that you signed up to. It's a simulation that you actually designed. Because of your connection to source, to spirit, you are one with source, one with the divine. We together created all of this. We created the experience. We are constantly co-creating the experience. And you get to determine the future that you have. You are not at the mercy of any particular leader. I don't care whether you love him or whether you loathe him. If you are deciding to give your power away to this apparently dude who's going to be a tyrannical leader. I mean, I don't know where you get your evidence for that, other than the crap that's spewing out of the media mouths of the media, and the little sound bites that and the snapshots that they take and they show to you. Oh, look what he said. He said it's going to be a bloodbath. Put it in context. I've put a link in the comments below that is Debunk America. It's a great site, by the way, found it on X, and it shows the full clips. Yes, he did say that, but what context did he say it in? When it's taken out of context, it looks horrific. Very fine people. Hoax taken out of context. He wants to assassinate Liz Cheney. Hoax taken out of context. The media has lied to you over and over and over and over. And it makes me freaking angry because the media are complicit in the mental health breakdown of thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of Americans, because they have indoctrinated them with this belief that their life's over. That all of a sudden they're going down 1940s Germany pathway. That is the biggest load of rubbish I've ever heard. So you've got to, and look, if you don't like my message right now, that's fine. Don't listen to me. If you want to have your mental breakdown, go right ahead. That's your choice. Don't believe me. I'm not saying believe me. I'm saying maybe open your mind to other possibilities. Oh, you clearly don't understand the situation. You're clearly brainwashed. You're part of the Trump cult. Actually, I was really, really skeptical. You have no idea how sore my ass is from sitting on that fence for months and months and months and months. I do not like being taken for a fool. People would send me stuff during the COVID thing. I would go about either debunking it or going, oh, actually, that's true. And, you know, the whole thing was a con. Yes, I know. People died. People died. A lot of people died. But if you actually understand what really went on, then you would be shocked. I mean, I'm still shocked about what was deliberately done during those times. 2020. It just, I can't explain it. Knowing the truth, I can't explain it. But that's off topic. It is part of how we got here today, but it is off topic. So go and have a look at that site. If you are convinced that as the mainstream media has told you, Donald Trump is the next Hitler, go and have a look at that site. That's number one. What has given me great hope and what actually got me off the fence in these last few months? I've been sitting on that fence for a long time, looking very intently and intensely at everything. Because I don't like to be taken for a fool. And if I'm going to voice something, I want to feel absolutely secure and confident that I have as much information as I possibly can to come to a conclusion that I can back up with proof. Okay. And I've not said much about this prior to the election because it's really not my place. Firstly, I don't have a lot of a platform. I have a few thousand people who follow me, but not many people are really going to listen to me talking about an election. There are many other more influential voices out there who are doing a much better job. And I didn't have a horse in this race. But I am so disturbed by seeing the mental meltdowns that a lot of people are having. They are literally having a mental health crisis over this. And it's completely unnecessary. It is completely unnecessary. What I have seen from everything that I have researched and read and looked at, This is the way forward for humanity. And to those who are already in the space that I'm in, actually, firstly, before I go there, if you know about the Matrix, you know about the blue pill and the red pill, don't you? So Neo took the red pill, realized he was in a simulation. They unplugged him. All of a sudden, he sees that they're basically everybody's just plugged in and being used as fodder by the machine, by the system. They are simply fuel, sources of fuel and food. And the way that they are kept in a state of compliance is they are fed a simulation. And they go around believing that this is real life. It's not real life, it's a simulation. So if you can see the perspective that this is a disruption, a major disruption, and we needed a major disruption. Now, as I was saying, what got me off the fence were the people who have been drawn into Donald Trump's orbit. So whatever happened in 2020 with the election, it was perfect. It's all perfect. All of this is perfect. Life is happening for us, not to us. It's all perfect. It's all by design. Take a breath. If you're freaking out, take a breath. So Donald Trump had 4 years to really process what happened. He was not a politician. He's even said he got in, he was kind of blindsided. It was all like, what the hell is going on? How do I manage this machine? And I don't know if you've ever seen the English series called Yes Minister. Holy crap. That series about 40 years ago, it was genius. I love British comedy. It's very, very different to American comedy. Australian comedy is very different to American comedy. So Australian comedy is very, it's audio. So we hear nuances in comedy, whereas American comedy is very visual, and English comedy is also very audio. So that's where the translation sometimes gets lost. But Yes Minister was genius because this newly elected minister was like inserted into the machine, and his handlers would manipulate him so masterfully. And as the years went on of the series, the minister started to figure all this out and started to go, wait a minute, you're gaslighting me. And he started to flip the whole scenario on his handlers, right? So on his staff. And this is what I see is unfolding right now. So Donald Trump kicked out of office, however that happened. He's had 4 years to reflect on what happened, what went wrong. I still have questions about Operation Warp Speed, let me tell you. I am not convinced about that sucker. So, yes, I still have questions that I would like answered. Not sure they ever will be. But he has now drawn into his orbit as a result of the events since July, which, let me just give you another little red pill here. You realize that the week before the assassination attempt in July at that rally, Donald Trump was supposed to be in jail. He was supposed to be sentenced to jail that week. For some reason, the judge decided to postpone sentencing, and he still hasn't been sentenced. And then that weekend, there was the assassination attempt. Coincidence? Yeah, okay. I haven't got my tinfoil hat on today. I do have one, by the way. It's available in my store down below, my Shopify store. So, nothing is a coincidence. And then there's multiple things that have unfolded since then. RFK Jr. has come on the scene and has fully endorsed Donald Trump. Like Donald, he in his 60s is a lifelong Democrat. His father was John F. Kennedy, JFK, whatever you want to call it. And his uncle, well, no, his uncle was JFK. Pardon me. His uncle was John JFK. His father was RFK Sr. And he also ran for president and was shot. He was popular as a choice for president, and he was also assassinated. Very, very murky circumstances around both of those assassinations as to who was responsible. So he's a lifelong Democrat. He has taken so much heat and so much condemnation from his family for siding with Donald Trump. But do you understand the motivation behind that? Do you understand his background? Have you read about his history? Have you read his book, The Real Anthony Fauci? I recommend you pick that up and you have a good read, because it's shocking. And he's an attorney. He was and he did a lot of environmental stuff before he got into the health field. Just to know that he is going to be a part of cleaning up the corruption in a lot of those 3-letter agencies. Then you got somebody like J.D. Vance, who I was skeptical about, because he is associated with a guy called Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel actually they're all multimillionaires. So they're all entrepreneurs. They're all multimillionaires in their own right. They're all very, very smart dudes. And Peter Thiel creates surveillance systems, and he puts together surveillance systems for the government. I'm not too keen on that idea. And he has been a great backer of J.D. Vance over the years. J.D. Vance was like his protege. Okay. So I had real massive questions about that. Because as somebody who's here for the Great Awakening, you're here for the Great Awakening, by the way. This is the Great Awakening. This is the shift in consciousness. That's why this is a disruption, and it's the disruption that we have to have. Then you've got somebody like Tulsi Gabbard. I love that girl. Love her. Have you seen her speak, heard her speak, seen what she stands for? Lifelong Democrat. And Vivek Ramaswamy, I like him. He's very smart, very switched on, another self-made millionaire, and has some really great ideas. If you want radical change, you need to have people who are willing to enact radical change. And this is radical change for the positive. It's cleaning up the food systems. It's cleaning up the corruption within the pharmaceutical industry. This is what Donald Trump is giving RFK Jr. an agency to do. And it's, I mean, this is not just about going in and shooting everything down. It's about looking at the systems that are in place and go, okay, let's look at the science behind what is happening with these agencies and with these medical interventions across the board. The food, do you know how many hormone disruptors are in your food, particularly in America? In America, it's way worse than in somewhere like Australia or the UK or in Europe. They have a lot more checks and balances, whereas in the US, your food system has so many poisons in it and hormone disruptors that are just poisoning you. He wants to clean that up. Do you not think this is a good idea? Like, who could oppose that? And then you've got the person I love the most out of this, and most people don't even know who. Bye, Zelly. I knew that would happen. Whatever. See that they're not even open. Zelly's not even open. He's a convicted felon. Actually, you know what? He's not convicted yet. He's not a convicted felon. All right, Zelly, if you're not open to new ideas and new perspectives, then you don't belong in this space anyway. All I'm asking is for you to have an open mind. Do you know he's not a convicted felon at this point? Because he's not convicted until he's actually been sentenced. Right? So he's not convicted until he's been sentenced. And just as a word, go for your life. If you want to go for me and say, I'm going to unsubscribe, I don't care. I don't care. If my message does not resonate with you, I don't care. Go and find somebody else who does resonate with you. You can abuse me if you want. I don't care. I don't care about your opinion for me. I care about the truth. I care about the future mental health. I care about the future of the world. I care about the future of our country. I care about the future of humanity. I care about the Great Awakening. I care about the consciousness. And if Zelly, if that's not up for you, if you're not up for that, fine. See you later. Lots of love. Okay? But I don't care. So don't think you're hurting me, mate. Care factor 0. So what I want to do is help you to navigate this current situation with a new perspective and understanding, knowing that everything is absolutely perfect, right? And all the lies that they have told you about Donald Trump and the whole convicted felon, you know, the whole thing was a sham and it is still under appeal. And if you listen to any of the legal experts, which I've listened to many, they have all said, regardless on which side they were on, they have all said that the whole thing was a sham. Nobody can even tell you what he was convicted of. Oh, he's a convicted felon 34 times. What were the 34 charges? What was the background? What was the evidence that they presented? How was the trial conducted? All they wanted was the tag convicted felon. But he's actually not a convicted felon yet until he's sentenced. Why was that postponed and postponed and postponed? He was convicted and found guilty by a jury. Go back and look at the details of the trial. Tell me what he was convicted of exactly. Tell me what the 34 counts were. Tell me what he's been guilty of. Bet you can't. Tell me the details of how the trial was conducted. And he's not a convicted felon until he is sentenced. That's law in New York. So, bye, calm down. I love that these, like, calm down is also disappearing. See ya. So the future is about the disruption, right? So, and I have great faith in the team that Donald Trump has built around him. Okay? So he has such a good team. And if you don't know Nicole Shanahan, right? Nicole Shanahan she's just amazing. She was also a never Trumper and a lifelong Democrat. And the way she talks about Donald Trump, she said she was completely brainwashed by the left media. And she said she has a whole new perspective because she's gotten to know who he truly is. She spent so much time with him and she has a completely new understanding. She now says that she has seen the lies of the left. She has seen the way the media has demonized him and vilified him and just absolutely gone after him viciously without cause. They have created propaganda. They're very good at propaganda. So if you're not ready to see it, then you're not ready to awaken. You're not ready to take the red pill. And I do not believe that Donald Trump is a savior of any of any stretch of the imagination. But I was excited when I saw the landslide that happened yesterday, because this is a new dawning for America. And ultimately, we've got a long way to go in Australia. There is a misinformation and disinformation bill that is passing in our parliament right now. And that's just, we have to stand up against that. That is the mark of a tyrannical government, when they start to really come down on our free speech. Free speech is the foundation of a free people, right? I may not like what you have to say, but I will fight for your right to say it. So this misinformation and disinformation stuff, that was actually created sort of very much during the pandemic period. It really gained traction to silence those of us who were shouting from the rooftops going, wait a minute, something's not right here. And I dare say the people who are unsubscribing, you probably fell into line with the whole COVID thing. It was a con, guys. And there's so much truth that's come out, things that we were not allowed to say and we were shut down and we were cancelled as a result, have actually now been proven true. Go figure. So I want you to really take stock, take a breath. My actual main message here today, I actually didn't mean to get into this to and fro. I responded to the comments, but my actual main message here is that this is a simulation. This is a holographic projection. You are co-creating this. And if you are giving your power away to forces and events that are out of your control, then it's time to really look at, what do you want to create for your future and your life? What do you want for your future? Do you want to take your power back, to stand in your power, to know that you have the ability to create absolutely anything, regardless of whatever is going on out there? Or do you want to continue to give your power away to the machine, to the establishment, to the corrupt forces that want to enslave you and to control you? Or do you want to be a force for good in your life and in the lives of others? Do you want to fight for the freedom of humanity? Or even just fight for your own dreams? Because the systems have indoctrinated us to believe that we lack power. The systems have indoctrinated us to believe that we are at the mercy of these machines and these systems and the establishment. That's what they want. And empowered humanity will not comply with the demands of the blob. They call it the blob, and I think it's such a great term. But what we're seeing now is the collapse of the blob. And if you don't get it yet, I hope you soon will. You know, it's like the systems have created division and isolation. Absolutely, Bob. So you can allow yourself to be at the mercy of that, or you can see it for what it is. What I see with Donald Trump is a unity team who wants to give the power back to the people. And if you're not ready to look at that and have that perspective and understanding, then I bless you and I love you, and it's your journey. I'm not here to decide what your journey is. That's up to you. But I want you to question all the sources that have been pouring into your brain. Turn off the mainstream media. Start looking at independent journalists who have left the mainstream in their droves because they could not stomach the lies and the deception anymore. They're out there. You can find them on platforms like, they're actually here on YouTube. If you look up Redacted, there's a guy called Glenn Greenwald, who I really, really like. Tulsi Gabbard. Megan Kelly is amazing. Megan Kelly is brilliant. Go and listen to them and listen to their perspective and listen to them break down the actual facts, not the sound bites, not the indoctrination that the agenda that the blob wants to feed you. Listen to the facts from the smart people who are journalists, who are invested in the integrity of journalism, because mainstream media is on the way out. It is done. It's in the final throes. And if you're still believing mainstream media, then bless you. Bless you, and I wish you well, because I ain't your gal. So I love you loads, and I'm trying to consider ways of, and maybe this was not the video to try and build a bridge for all of us to come together in a place of unity and love and peace and compassion for each other. Because the system has actually very deliberately created narratives that it knew would put separation and division, would create separation and division. Question everything. Open your minds. Open your hearts. I have been doing my due diligence about this for years. Read a book called The Creature of Jekyll Island. Go and look at that site that I just mentioned a couple of times, America Debunked. There's another woman called Naomi Wolf, who I love very much. She's in the United States. She's recently released a book called The Pfizer Documents, which is took 2 years, a couple of thousand doctors and scientists broke down the 74,000 scientific papers that were released by Pfizer in relation to the you-know-what, and they have analysed it, and their findings and their breakdown is in that book called The Pfizer Documents. But Dr. Naomi Wolf, she's not a medical doctor. I think she got her doctorate in I don't know what she got her doctorate in. I think it's in literature or something like that. But she's a very smart gal. She's a multimillionaire. She owns a company called Clout, something. I can't remember. Something Clout. I'll put the link in the description below. But she's incredible. She's on X, and she also lifelong Democrat. Never Trumper, hated Trump, all of a sudden start to see the lies, was red-pilled. She's also now on the Trump train. So how can these very smart people all be so wrong? Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. I love you. If you're not in my community anymore, that's okay. Have a nice life. I wish you all the best. Genuinely wish you all the best. All right, I'm going to go. Yes, just take a breath. It's all going to be okay. It's all perfect. It's all by design. Whatever your belief is, it's all by design. This is the Great Awakening. Bye for now.